We've had some requests to give a more detailed explanation of the formulas for calculating circuits with parallel resistances. There are two formulas of note: the MAD formula, which will be the subject of this video, and the reciprocal formula, which will be the subject of a later video. Parallel resistances appear often in the electrical world. As well as the familiar printed circuit boards of electrical appliances, radios, televisions, etc., don't forget that the humble domestic installation, indeed any electrical installation, is a collection of parallel circuits. The lamps, the sockets, and so on are in parallel across the supply voltage. We should begin with a quick recap on Ohm's law to better understand the easy calculations that follow. How does Ohm's law work? What are the rules that bind voltage, current, and resistance together? We want current to flow through a conductor, for example, but for current to flow, we need an electromotive force, an EMF or voltage. The greater the force, the greater the voltage, and the more current that can be pushed through the cables. Working in opposition is the resistance to the flow of current. As resistance increases, the current will decrease. The current that flows is the result of the applied voltage and the resistance of the circuit. This small table will help to show this. If voltage increases, current increases. If the voltage decreases, the current decreases. More resistance will result in less current flow, and a decrease in resistance will allow more current to flow. Amps can only change if the resistance or voltage changes. Something has to happen first for the current to increase or decrease. Switch a light on or off, turn the cooker on, put a nail through the wires and cause a short, etc. To sum up, resistance or voltage must change before current changes. The amps cannot change the resistance or voltage. If the voltage stays the same, as in a domestic property for example, then electricity usage can only change as appliances and lighting, which are resistances, are turned on or off. Another way to think of it is as a seesaw. If one end goes up, the other end goes down. Here, the voltage is constant, as you would expect in an electrical installation. If the voltage stays the same, then a certain resistance will allow an amount of current to flow. And if the voltage remains the same and the resistance reduces, then the current increases. And what if the voltage remains the same again, but the resistance increases? This will cause a reduction in current flow. This is the usual format for the Ohm's law triangle, showing voltage, current, and resistance. Some electricians will use different names: voltage, amps, and ohms. It's the same thing. Use whichever you are most familiar with. There are 3 Ohm's law calculations that we can benefit from as long as we know any of the 2 values. To find the voltage of a circuit, multiply the current by the resistance. Find the current by dividing the voltage by the resistance. And the resistance is found by dividing the voltage by the current. Looking at a single resistor, here is a very easy example of Ohm's law. 10 volts is across a 10 ohm resistance. What is the current flowing? The answer is that 10 volts divided by 10 ohms is 1 amp. What if we have 2 10 ohm resistors in parallel with 1 amp flowing through each, a total of 2 amps of current? Can we replace the 2 resistors with just 1 resistor and still have 2 amps of current? What value should this new resistance be? Using Ohm's law again, voltage divided by current will tell us what this new resistance should be. 10 volts divided by 2 amps is 5 ohms of resistance. The new resistance, the effective resistance, is 5 ohms. Now we can look at how the MAD formula can help us to make the calculations. The MAD formula, as applied to resistances, is simply multiply the top row, add the bottom row, divide the top by the bottom. Let's look at the last example. What single resistor can replace two 10 ohm resistors in parallel? The formula tells us to multiply the two resistances together for the top row, to add the two resistances together for the bottom row, and then divide one by the other. The result here is 5 ohms, the same as using Ohm's law, but a lot quicker to calculate. Note that we no longer need to know the circuit voltage or current. All that we need are the values of the two resistances, and the formula does the rest. A good way of checking your calculation is that the effective resistance is always less than the smallest original resistance. The answer shown here of 3.33 ohms is less than the 5 ohms of the original resistances. Another example, and again the effective resistance, the answer, is less than the smallest original resistance. We could replace these two parallel resistors with just one resistor of 3.75 ohms. Can we use the MAD formula with 3 resistors? Let's look. Shown here are 3 resistors in parallel. To demonstrate the method, I've labelled them as A, B and C. Now, use the MAD formula to calculate just A and B first as a pair of resistors. This will give you a temporary or midpoint answer, and we can call this resistance P. Now use the formula to calculate resistance P and resistance C together. This will give you the final answer, which I've called resistance R. This is the effective resistance of the 3 original resistors. We can follow the method and put the numbers in now. For the 50 ohms and 75 ohm resistors, we have an effective resistance of 30 ohms, resistance P. Now use the MAD formula again to calculate the parallel resistance of a 30 ohm resistance and a 100 ohm resistance as shown. The effective resistance of the 3 resistors in parallel is 23.07 ohms after rounding. So a single 23 ohm resistor will do the job. Can we do this with 4 resistors? Well, we know we can. When we get to 4 resistors or more, we may consider another formula, the reciprocal formula, which is the subject of another video. But for now, we will calculate 4 resistors in parallel using the MAD formula. It's very easy, very simple. Let's begin by labelling the 4 resistors A, B, C and D as shown. First, calculate A and B and call them resistance P. Then calculate C and D and call them resistance Q. We now have 2 temporary resistances, P and Q. Finally, we calculate P and Q together to arrive at the single resistance answer. Resistance R can replace the parallel resistances of A, B, C and D. Here it is with numbers. 3 simple steps. Just calculate the resistances in pairs. Step 1. The resistance P is 8.33 ohms. Step 2. The resistance Q is 88.88 ohms. And step 3. The answer, the effective resistance, is R, which is 7.62 ohms. A quick visual check to make sure the answer is about right. The answer, 7.62 ohms, is less than the smallest original resistance of 10 ohms. We can take a look now at a lighting circuit, a perfect example of a parallel circuit. All the lamps are in parallel with each other across the supply voltage, which we will call 240 volts. We've already calculated the resistances from the wattages for you using power law and Ohm's law. The 60 watt lamps will have a resistance of about 960 ohms each, and the 100 watt lamp a resistance of about 571 ohms. To be correct, we should call the resistance an impedance because it only comes into play when the lamps are switched on and we have an AC or alternating current going through the lamps. But the difference between the resistance and impedance is so very small it's not worth worrying about for this video. Here all the switches are open, no current flows, and the lamps are off. If we close the switches for the two 60 watt lamps, current will flow. We can calculate the effective resistance or impedance of the two lamps in parallel as 480 ohms. Using Ohm's law, we can now calculate the current that will flow with the two lamps turned on, and this is 0.5 amps total, half an amp. As we switch more lamps on, then the current flowing will increase. Close all three switches and, using the previous calculation, we have 480 ohms for the two 60 watt lamps together in parallel with the 571 ohms for the 100 watt lamp. Our answer, the effective resistance, is 260.8 ohms. Applying Ohm's law to the answer, we have a current flow of 0.92 amps, just less than 1 amp. As we turn lights on, plug the kettle in for a coffee, or use the washing machine, we are adding more resistances to the parallel circuits of the house. And each MCB or RCBO is in parallel with all the other MCBs and RCBOs. More appliances turned on, more current flow. Turn some of the appliances or lights off and the current flow will reduce. And now, time for you to have a go at the MAD formula with some practice questions. The best way to learn this method is by attempting the questions. Even make up your own questions. Calculate the effective resistance of these parallel circuits. What single resistance can replace these parallel resistors? Pause the video now and have a go at the calculations. The answers are on the next slide. Here are my answers. Don't worry if you get very slightly different results. It all depends on where you chop off the decimal places. As long as you are close, then you have a good answer. Question B, for example, if your answer is 342.87, then you are only 1/100th of an ohm different to my answer. Close enough. If you have a seriously wrong answer, go over your calculations again, and it often helps to write your calculations and answers down. I still do, after more than 40 years in the trade. A quick recap of the MAD formula for parallel resistances. Multiply, add, divide. Multiply the top row together, add the bottom row together, divide the top by the bottom, and this will give you the single resistance that will replace the original resistances. If we have more than two resistances in parallel, simply calculate two at a time to get temporary values. Then apply the same MAD formula to these to reach your final answer as shown here. And remember, the final answer, the effective resistance, will always be smaller than the smallest of the original resistances. A good way to check that you've applied the formula correctly. Thank you for watching, it really is appreciated, and I hope that you found this video both useful and informative, with a little more knowledge added to your mental toolbox. Practice and repetition is key to learning. The more you practice, the better you become. Please subscribe to our channel to get access to all of our videos, and remember to click on notify to be sure of not missing our next video. And don't forget that you can type in Learn Electrics into the YouTube search bar to go directly to our channel at any time from any computer. We are always adding new videos to our channel, so don't miss the next one. And once again, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again very soon.